Hey everybody, it's Jason. I am out here in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where we just wrapped up a rec pond about a week ago. I'm super excited about this pond. The homeowner's getting ready to join us and talk us through a little bit about what they went through and how they feel about it. Thanks for having us out. I was hoping you could just kind of tell me a little bit about, well, how'd you end up here? It's a beautiful property. The house is awesome. How long have you been here? And how old's the house and how'd you end up here?
So we've been here for 7 years, and the house was born in 1818. We just discovered in redoing the rat room, there was a date stone on there, so it said 1818. We were told it was 1775, so kind of a disappointment, but also a joy to find the actual date.
Holy smokes, we got out here. There was a big pond, had a big old island in it. And I think the biggest surprise is when you get to drain them, because once you start to drain them, right?
Yeah.
We tell you we're gonna make a mess, but how did that feel?
That was actually awesome. I think we had so much hesitation with so many aspects of it, but as soon as this whole thing was like a mud pit, a lava pit it looked like, that was when we were in it. It was pretty great.
Yeah. So we took the widest liner that we could find, which was 50 feet wide, right? It was 100 feet long. And said, hey, what's the biggest pond we can build with this?
Right.
And the neat thing was we had all that extra sludge and debris and everything that we had to do something with. So we used that as backfill and then brought some other soil in on top of that as well. And in order to get you to where you are now. But how's your family interacted with this over the last week?
Oh my gosh. So the night we came home, we jumped in. And it was dark and there were stars and it was amazing, so that was magical. And then we're bringing whatever random furniture we have and kind of sitting here or hanging on the dock, but we've been working out here. We've been I think doing everything but having dinner out here. I get up in the morning early and swim, and yeah, everybody's jumping in. We put some chairs over there because we used to, when it gets really hot, we used to work in the creek. We would put chairs in the creek, and now we just put chairs in the shallow end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The American green frogs came back pretty quickly, and tons of tadpoles. They started laying eggs when there was like rainwater, I think, in the bottom part. Yeah. So that had already started. Otherwise, I think when I was so jubilantly responding because already on the plants there's pollinators coming, all kinds of creatures. So
it's pretty awesome how fast wildlife starts to come back.
It's amazing. And then there's this creature.
That's right. That's right. He was along for the ride the whole time.
She doesn't know what to make of it.
Awesome part of it.
This is the first time where I'm starting with a blank slate that has like nooks and crannies to plant in, so it's kind of amazing. I feel pretty good about it right now. We'll see how it goes. I also get to just dunk a bucket into the pond and water everything, so that's amazing. These plants, I ordered all of these before the pond was finished. And then when I picked them up yesterday, I saw that some of them could go into the bog, and I know, Jason, you told me that we needed to fill it up.
Yes.
So I started putting those in. I think they're rushes and irises that I'm putting in there, but they're tiny, they're little plugs, so hopefully they'll do a good job. They look a little like soldiers right now, but hopefully they'll flourish.
They absolutely will. They absolutely will. And it's pretty neat that plants, I mean, we got biological filtration, we got mechanical filtration, and your aquatic plants are a huge part of what's going to keep this water clear, and that's so cool compared to swimming with chemicals, and it's one of the huge pluses, right?
Yeah. I don't like swimming in pools, but I love swimming, so I'm really psyched about this.
Yeah, that's super cool. So I gotta tell you, these homeowners, definitely the hardest working homeowners I've ever seen. Man, they've been working here with their family, doing decks and stairs and all kinds of things. Decks, they've done a great job, and it's been really cool and awesome to work here with them. So thank you, Margot, for jumping on video with us. We came in here, it was just very overgrown with plants and a ton of muck. It had been years of just debris landing in this thing and everything just piling up. We came out, we decided to drain it down and excavate all the plants, take all the plants, put them in the truck. Then we started digging out all the muck, put all the muck over in the side yard to let it dry. Then we had to deal with our biggest hurdle, actually. which was how are we going to work in this area where it's wet all the time? We got groundwater just coming in. There was a spring house right next to this thing. So what we decided to do was dig some trenches and put in a standpipe. That standpipe allowed us to pump water out constantly. And by that being at the lowest point and utilizing some pipe and some gravel and everything, the water was able to get to the standpipe the easiest, which made the area start to become workable and dry. Once that happened, we were able to put our fabric in with our liner on top, and we were able to start constructing this rec pond. It's about 5.5 feet deep. We made it multiple layers on the sides in order to not take up too much space. We really put one boulder in and then put another one behind it, another one behind it, and worked our way up that way. The area where the pond was about 50 feet long or so, we were able to kind of build some shelves, which will make some really nice planting spaces, give you spaces to hang out at different depths, give you area for chairs. And we just came in, we rocked everything, graveled everything. Once we got everything kind of rocked, we pulled our liner edges up and just started backfilling everything with all that muck and debris after it had dried out for a few weeks. And we were able to, make this area very walkable again, usable again. We were able to actually fill the pond from that sump that I was telling you about. Put a pump in there and just started pumping it right into the pond, which is just spring water that filled this up, which is really nice and neat. There's going to be some water underneath of this liner. And then we have some overflows out on the far side. You can actually see some black pipes still sticking out the top as well. We are gonna hide those, but because we just wrapped up, I wanna get some heavy rain, I wanna get some wet area, and I just wanna see how much water starts flowing out of these pipes, or if everything is able to kind of disperse into the ground and out through the overflow. So they are there kind of as a safety, where water will take the path of least resistance. Once the pond was rocked and the water was in the pond, that's pushing a lot of weight down. So the idea is, as water gets underneath the liner and starts pushing up, water will take the path of least resistance out of those pipes compared to pushing the liner up. Instead of us having submersible pumps where the pumps are sitting in the bottom, we actually have plumbing running to the bottom of our pump vaults, which is pulling all the water into our intake bay and pulling it down and putting it into an external pump. Because you can jump in this and everything, we like to use external pumps, and that way we don't have the pumps in the water. From those pumps, the water is being pushed over to our biological filter, which is coming into the bottom through the piping very quickly. It then comes into the snorkel and centipede and just immediately slows down. It loses like 90% of its speed, but what that does is it allows any kind of sediment or anything to stay in that biological filter, which will really help keep the pond clean and clear. Once a year, we clean that out. After it works its way up through the aqua box, it now works up through multiple layers of gravel at different sizes. The gravel gets smaller and smaller, so the water's coming up through that void space, and the homeowner is actually over there planting that right now and works its way up through those plant roots, and it really does a fantastic job of creating the lowest maintenance rec ponds that we can. And it works great. We do have another pump which is pushing water down to the bottom. Because it's 5 feet deep, right, you'll get a little bit of a thermocline and the bottom will start to settle. Well, by pumping water into the bottom, it's really stirring that up down there, and it forces everything to come up, and it forces it into the intake bay as well, so it doesn't allow sediment and everything to just go down there and rest. If you ask me what my favorite part of rec ponds are, it doesn't get closed in the wintertime. This is going to have 4 seasons of interest. If they want to jump on ice skates, they can do that. They can enjoy it in the wintertime, they can enjoy it in the spring, fall. When you're not necessarily jumping in to cool off, you still have something absolutely awesome and natural to look at. One of my favorite features, this deck that they built. They built this themselves. They got a business, they do a ton of woodworking, very talented people, so they built this deck. They come in here and, as you saw, dive off of this and just absolutely enjoy this. Makes it very interactive and also pulls you into the pond some. I think they're gonna put fish in it, but we'll see what happens. Rec ponds can have fish or don't have to, but I have a feeling we're gonna see fish in this one before it's over. We were able to hang out with the dog the entire time, which was really cool. Pearl was absolutely awesome to hang out with. Extremely well behaved. Fence was open. We had fence down and gates out and all kinds of stuff. From what I hear, she hasn't jumped in yet, but I'm sure that time will come eventually. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about rec ponds, please put it in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep building your outdoor dreams.